I'm going to show you guys how to do what's called a layer mask, or sometimes referred to as a rastered mask, okay? So there's a couple things that you can use a mask for, and I'm gonna show you a couple examples here. So one thing that you can do is you can take things like, for instance, this picture, and you can knock out a background. So you can isolate a person or an object or something like that, and literally mask away or hide what's in the background, and then you can utilize that to put on top of something else. So for instance, I have this picture here, so you can see where I had the musician or the singer here. I had him in the other image with the background, and it basically created a mask around the background to only show him, and you can now see the other background layer coming from behind. And if you look at the layer above, you can see here on the thumbnail picture, you can see the singer and the background, but next to that you can see that mask, and you can see the mask has got that black area, and that's hiding away all of what's, you know, in the background of the picture where the original singer was. Here's another one. Again, same idea. You've got the singer here, and then a mask to cover up all of the background, and I have it over another type of image. So that's one thing you can do with a layer mask. The other thing you can do is when you have two layers or two images that you want to combine together. So for instance, here I have a drum set, and I'm kind of playing off of the fact that the drummer is drumming so fast that he has lit his drum head on fire. So what I did was I took a picture of a fire burning, and I overlaid it on top of the background layer. I created a mask and kind of used a mask in a couple different ways with some soft brushes and turning down the opacity, and I was able to kind of give the illusion that that drum head is on fire, okay? So what I'm gonna do here with this is I'm gonna show you how to create a layer mask, but using it to isolate an object or hide a background or something like that, okay? So first things first, we need to talk about how you're going to set up that layer mask. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you have black and white in your foreground and your background. So black in your foreground, white in your background, okay? So you can see I've got white and black here, all right? Then what we're gonna do is we are going to create the layer mask by going up to layer, raster mask. Now you've got two options here when you want to do your mask. You can say reveal all or hide all. Now the difference is, one, if you say reveal all, you're gonna be able to see everything right now, and you have to add the mask to hide what you don't want to see. If you go to hide all, you basically can't see anything. It wipes out all of your, it hides all of your layer, and you have to reveal the part or section that you want to see. Again, depending on what you're working with or the object or the layer that you're working with, sometimes you have to use reveal, sometimes you have to use hide. For this case, I'm gonna say reveal all. I wanna hide the area I don't want, okay? So I'm gonna say reveal all. And you can see here, it hasn't done anything, it hasn't changed anything, but it has created the mask next to my layer thumbnail here. Now I have to hide and block the area that I don't want to see, okay? So to do that, once I've created the layer mask, I'm gonna use a brush, okay? And I'm gonna use the brush tool here. Now the brush tool, when you're going to hide the areas, right? So I've started with reveal all. To hide the areas you want to hide, you have to use black in your paintbrush color, okay? So I'm gonna make sure that my foreground is black here. And now I'm gonna adjust my brush size. So since I wanna get rid of a larger area right now, I'm gonna start with a larger brush. So I'm gonna use the bracket keys next to the letter P key on the keyboard. So I'm just gonna increase my brush size here. And I keep going up, and I'm around at 500 to start, okay? Now you can start playing with the opacity and the flow of that brush, okay? To start, I'm just gonna say 100%. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start painting here, okay? And you can see it's hiding away all of the area that I don't want to see. It's not erasing, okay? It's not erasing. If you look on my layer thumbnail here, those areas that I've painted are black, okay? Again, I'm not erasing. I am not destructing. I'm not being destructive at all to this layer, okay? All I'm doing is hiding stuff. The advantage of using a layer mask is at any time, if I mess up, if I come in here and say, oops, all I have to do is, if I change or switch my colors and I paint with white now, watch, if I flip my colors, now white is in my foreground, I can start adding back all of my mask. So again, I haven't destroyed anything. All I'm doing is hiding, okay? And that is the advantage of using a layer mask over using the eraser tool, okay? So again, you could use the eraser and you could come in here and you could erase all of this information out of here. But the problem with that is, you know, if you need to come back in here and adjust things later on, you can't because you've erased it. It's all gone. You've destroyed the detail of the picture, okay? So again, that's why we use layer masks. So all I'm gonna do is come in here and I'm gonna zoom in, and now all I'm gonna do is carefully come through here, and I'm going to remove the image, okay? Stop talking here as I work, so bear with me while I go around and I'll show you what this looks like at the end. Okay, so here we go. We've got our subject in here, okay? And I have pretty much masked away everything that I need to. I went inside of his arm here and I have the little cord for his microphone. And I've gone around and I've masked off everything that I need, okay? And I just have my subject here of the singer. Now what we can do is we can bring him into we can bring him into a background like this, okay? And we could place him in here, and we can have this where we have completely, masked away everything that we don't want. And when we bring him into the other image, we have, a transparent background. So again, we've dragged and moved layers from one to another before. So all I'm going to do is grab the background out of this one and drop it into this one, and I have my subject matter in here, okay? Now he's a little small, and that's fine. I can always scale him up, and I can get him to where I want, okay? Maybe something like this. I can move him down, kind of something like this, okay? So that's how you can take a subject or something that you want. You can mask away the entire background, okay, and place it into another picture or an image, and still have everything there waiting for you or ready for you to adjust if you had to, right? So if I wanted to come back in here and I wanted to adjust this, I can click back on my layer. I can grab my brush tool. I could then alternate again with my white color in my foreground, and I could bring back that entire background if I wanted to, okay? Again, all I gotta do is just paint it back in, and that whole background would come back, okay? So again, that's the power of using a layer mask versus some sort of destructive type of tool like the paintbrush, or I'm sorry, the eraser, or making a selection and deleting, something like that. Again, very destructive. The layer mask allows you to do the same effect, but still have the capabilities of bringing things back if you need to.